thank you everybody for coming to our virtual meeting. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of the West Tokyo Jolt. Actually, this is kind of a pioneer initiative because like we are the first in whole of Jolt to initiate this kind of virtual meeting. And so everybody's welcome. So thank you for coming. And by the way, my name is Promel Barbudo. For those of you who know me, you can call me, or those who don't know or know you don't know me, you can just call me Mel for short for easy recall. And by the way, we had this emergency um, emergency remote teaching online activities um, topic because as you may know, as you all know, that's why we're here. It's the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, we are forced, for lack of a better word, to um, make our classes engaging. And because of that, we thought of helping or we wanted to give a presentation to help us ease the transition to from face to face to emergency remote learning. So today, I am very I'm very honored to introduce to you our speaker for our emergency remote learning online activities. She is, of course, Mary Nobuoka. There she is, and she is very well known in JALT and in many other institutions in Japan. Um, she, as you may know, she is teaching in Keio University and Waseda University. A very well-spoken presenter and a very popular at that. I actually met her not personally yet, but I've seen her in many platforms in JALT, and I know that she's a very capable and very her presentations are very informative, and so we would like to benefit that. And so Mary, I'd like to give the floor to you, or screen, so screen at this in this case. So take it away, Mary.
All right, thank you very much for that.
Okay, Mary, I'm going to make you the host of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so.
All right, and I'm sharing a screen. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And I thank you to West Tokyo JALT for having me here today. I'm really happy that I didn't have to take 3 trains and an hour-and-a-half train ride to get to you guys. So it's kind of nice. It's one of the benefits of this online stuff, of course. I have been using Zoom for about 3.5 weeks. So I guess that makes me an expert. So we'll see what we're going to do here. Most of the things I've done are with young learners, but I think it's adaptable to other classes too. Today I'm going to briefly talk about some tech issues with Zoom in case people aren't familiar with that, and also talk about games and activities. Can I ask first, well, let's see, on the tech stuff, all right, so if you're new to Zoom, click on the participants list if you can see it. Can we see it with the save screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you'll see everyone's name there. You should see your name. And important features of this, I don't know if you can see all of my screen. Mute and unmute, so really we should all mute. And when you work with your students, probably better to mute. Otherwise, especially with bigger crowds, you can't hear anything. So mute is an important function. Of course, stop video if you need to go to the restroom. We've probably seen videos of that. And chat allows you to, for your students to talk to you, or you to talk to your students or whatnot. Or be careful though, with some classes, you might want to disable the private chat from student to student, because that might cause trouble. My 5th and 6th graders recently discovered the chat, so they're going crazy with it. So I disabled that on my Zoom in advanced features perhaps. Okay, so right now I cannot see, I can't see everybody's participants from where I am. That's another problem with Zoom, is we're often blind to what people can see. But someone can maybe report to me, how many people, is this your first time to be at a Zoom meeting? Can someone check that for me and tell me? Raise your hand function. This is below the participants place here. Okay, can someone give me a report? Is this new for people? Okay. How many people? Anyone? Can someone report to me? Because I can't see it.
3 or 4?
Not many newbies?
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
Oh, good. So everyone's experienced. Okay, so
3 people.
we got yes and no if you need it here. If you need to click on yes and no. How many people have hosted or taught on Zoom already? Yes,
I
no.
taught my seminar class.
Okay. What's it looking like on the yes and no's? A lot of people? A bunch, huh? Okay. Oh, no one can speak. All right. Anyway, use these, have your students use these. It helps to have this picture to show your students, of course. Okay. And couple recommended settings to make sure that you enable breakout rooms. If you don't, you're not going to be able to access them. So you have to go into your settings. I mentioned already disabling private chats and allow removed participants to rejoin, because I accidentally kicked a kid out on Saturday morning and then he could not enter back in. So fortunately his mom was smart enough to get another device and that helped to get him back in, but be careful with that too. And also allow participants to rename themselves. Some of our students might have kanji. You might want to have them rename themselves into Roman letters. So a couple of points there. So far in the classes I've taught, some of the bugs on Zoom are there's a blank screen, it's just gray, or there's no audio. So I just have the student exit and come back in. That usually solves the problem. But I'm sure, as you guys know, there's been some major tech issues involved with Zoom, not just the security. As you probably have discovered if you've been teaching, it's a lot more energy to do a Zoom talk or lesson than it is in the classroom. So think about ways that you can kind of protect yourself too. Perhaps chat rooms where you get a little break might help. Shorter classes is what's been recommended to me too by my universities, and putting up more on-demand materials for students to do on their own. Okay. Also, it takes a lot more time to get through material and activities. So I'll do an activity today, hopefully we'll have time, called the dictionary game. And I used to be able to do 5 or 6 rounds in an hour class with my students. But when we did it on Zoom, we did 1 round only. So it just took forever to get through the material. And different things like muting, screen sharing take up seconds that you wouldn't have in the classroom often. One problem I had too was keeping track of my students who I called on, and one of the kids got really upset because I didn't see his hand raised or I didn't call on him. So be really careful with this. So I developed this system in the last 2 weeks. I just keep a list of my students on the side on a Word file. And as I call on them, I can just quickly change the color of their names so that I can keep track of who has spoken or who I need to call on next. So try that out. All right. Is there a question?
We don't have input. Now who the hell does?
What? Someone's got their TV on, maybe, or watching YouTube during my talk? Yeah. Okay. Someone's not muted, so I can't see that. So if somebody wants to mute them, that'd be great. Okay. All right. So here's a list of some of the things I've done in the class already. We have we have some reading books and story time. So I'll go through each of these very quickly. Some of them we'll try together. And I have a copy of this file I can maybe upload onto the files for West Tokyo's website. So don't worry too much about taking notes and stuff. Later you can have access to this Word doc. All right, so let's go on. My first activity here is just a simple word scramble. I put this on a Word doc, and this is for first, second graders doing phonics.
Mary, very quickly, can you start recording this? It seems to have stopped recording when I shared it with you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I just noticed that.
More probably, right? Oh, okay. Mine just says pause recording and stop recording.
Okay, so maybe it's still going.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I think it's recorded.
Okay. All right. So anyway, these are target words that the students had, and it's a kind of crazy sentence. So the students unscrambled them. That took about 3 to 5 minutes for this age group to solve this puzzle. This is a very classic game you can play. And then you just give them the answer. And I can use some highlighting to show, oh, capitalize the T to help them and make sure they put a period at the end. So using some of these features on Word is helpful. I think this is an advantage of Word over PowerPoint presentations. So think about that. We could do this. All right, let's try this one. You guys know this classic game, Hot Seat? No? Yeah? All right. So let's just do a quick round of this and see how it works and see how long it takes. For this particular game, I recommend using the waiting room. So Chiyuki, can I use you as a guinea pig? Can I put you out into the waiting room, and then we will, I'll tell everybody the hint or the word.
Can I cry?
Yes, you can cry.
Okay.
All right. We're going to see you in a few more minutes. All right. Let me see if I can make you. Okay, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Don't worry, you'll be right back. Okay. All right. So you guys, you are all the students. When Chiyuki comes back, you are going to give her hints for the word quarantine. Okay, quarantine. But you can't say quarantine. You can't spell it. You can't do any gestures. Are you ready? So let's raise our hands to do this. And I'm gonna actually stop the share so I can see that. If you want to give a hint, please raise your hand. So let's unmute all for a moment. Okay, let me bring Chiyuki back. Oh, we got a few more people coming. Okay. Okay, a few more people joined also just now. Chiyuki, are you back? You can see how much time this takes sometimes, even this. Chiyuki, are you back? All right. Okay.
It's awful.
Oh, poor baby.
No.
All right. Who wants to give a hint? Sometimes with children too, it's better just to have them raise their hands. Okay. And now I can't see everybody, so forgive me. Oh, wow, look. All right, let's see. Satoko, can you give a hint? Your hands raised, Satoko. Uh-oh.
Satoko?
Right. I'm going to mute everyone again with mute. Mute all. All right. Oh, my stuff. All right. Oh, wow. This is not such a great thing with co-hosting, but someone, can you help me? Please call on somebody. Oh, okay. It's back. These are the kinds of things. Is Satoko, you have your hand up. Can you give Chiyuki a hint?
Okay. We're all in it now, and we're alone.
All right. Great hint.
I don't know the question.
Oh, you have to guess the word. I gave them a word. You have to guess the word. Okay?
What was that? What was the hint again? Sorry.
We're all in it now, and we're alone.
Oh, okay. Zoom?
Oh, good guess, though.
No?
No. Okay, let's see. Jason, do you have a hint? Oh, you didn't have your hand raised.
I did. So
Go ahead.
not a child, not an adult. What's in the middle?
Adolescent?
Child, adult.
Teenager? Adolescent?
You're getting close to the word.
We are in.
All right, let's hear from someone else. Julie, do you have a hint?
Sick. Sick.
Sick? Sick?
Ill.
Ill.
Mm.
And we are corona?
Getting closer.
No?
Close. Getting close.
Okay, let's see. Masami. Yasuda.
Yeah,
Do you have a hint?
I don't know.
No. Okay, your hand is raised. I'm going to lower it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem. All right, let's see.
Between-
Risheen, you have your hand raised? Oh, let me unmute you.
No, I did not.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's all right. And how about Mackin?
All right. So it's a period of time. If you catch corona, if you think you caught corona, you isolate yourself, preferably like 2 weeks. It actually means like 2 weeks period of isolation. What's the word?
What's the word? What's the and incubate.
Oh,
Incubate
close.
period? No? Incubate period?
Close.
Close.
That's a great, it's like isolation. In a hospital, you'll be isolated, or you will be in
In the hospital and ICU? No. Quarantine.
Yay! All right, great. Nice job. All right.
Between child and adults?
Yeah,
I
a
think
teen,
it
a quarantine.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that was difficult.
All right. All right.
Okay,
Let's move
team.
on. While I have the screen sharing down, let me also show you like books. I've used this book in class. So where's my share screen? Here we are. If you can use PDFs of books, it's a little bit better than doing regular books. Let me see. So let's see how this works. So I just went through this screen and I would have my students take turns reading this book, or I can read to them. This too is like a phonics book. Oh, and it's not going to the next. Anyway, you can go through this with your students like this to read books online or passages, textbooks, things like that. All right, now, let's stop the screen share. Whoa. Okay, next. Okay, screen share. Here we go. Okay, next, quizzes are easy to do. I'm gonna show you a quiz I did for Easter. So I already have all the questions, target words. This is a kind of cultural exercise, but you can do this with target vocabulary and have all the questions ready to go. I have 5 categories, but you could do 2, 3 to make it shorter. So for example, the student might say animals for 200, and then to erase that, I'm just gonna make it white so that later I can keep this template and make it black again and not, I can reuse it over and over. So for example, animals for 200, I might give the hint, it's a baby sheep. Anyone want to guess? A baby sheep. You can do this in Teams too.
Bam.
Yes. Let me see. Let's unmute. Can't see the hands. I can't see the names. I unmuted someone. Can you see who's unmuted? Emily McFarlane. Go for it.
Oh, Lamb.
Yay! That's right. Okay. So you can, I have a ton of these type of quizzes that I do with my students, but there's also this fantastic website, which I will bring up for you in a shared screen, called Quizzes. Where are we here? One moment, please. I have maybe too many windows opened here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, okay, and this is quizzes. Oh, well, let's go there and see what happens. Okay, so I've made a couple quizzes here, but they have some that are already made. So for example, for my first and second graders who are doing decodables, we have this one that I made with pictures. So if you give your students the link to this and then the code, they can actually play on another screen, but only if they're using computers. It doesn't work so well with tablets or phones. With a tablet, you can go switch back and forth and you can still hear on Zoom, but you can't see anything. So that's the advantage of a computer. But let's go ahead and, oh, there are no players, so I can't, one moment. Yeah, this is sometimes some of the problems with these. We're gonna do play live. Test, that'll help. Okay, oh goodness, I need some students to join. So anyway, this happens, right? So I can't do it right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I can still scroll down and see the quiz with my students. You can see this is a technical difficulty that we're just gonna get around right now. So can you see the screen okay? So here's a picture. And which one is it? Man, tan, can, or ban? Yay, you got it, that's right. Can everyone see? Okay, right?
We can't
All right.
see that.
No, we can't.
see it.
You can't see this. Ah.
No.
Oh, okay. There we go. Another Zoom failure. This is going to happen sometimes. Let me try one more time here. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to need. Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Saturday, this worked without doing Teams. So let me go here. Well, anyway, there are other quizzes like coronavirus, Earth Day, things like that, English language, arts that you can do that are already made. So yeah, that one was a bit of a fail. So we need to still work on that one. Okay. Let's move along. And okay.
Mary, what was that website?
It's called Quizzes, Q-U-I-Z-Z-I-Z. And this, yeah, and this will be on the form here too. All right, next. Saturday, I tried Mad Libs with some older kids, 5th and 6th grade elementary school. These kids are bilingual, so they already can speak English pretty well, but for older kids or even university, this might be good. If you search online for Mad Libs, there's a million of them, so you can just steal those off the net. So I made the sheet for the students to fill out a list of parts of speech. So my kids already knew what adjectives are, but I put a reminder here for them. And if they asked again, I could highlight it in blue for them to see and quickly get the idea. Then each student had their list. Once they finished, and that took probably 5 to 7 minutes for them to fill this out. And then we show them the title and the story after they filled out the words so that you don't influence them. And each student just read through with their list of words. And it's funny. They like this game. It's fun to do. Gets a little crazy. And if you have elementary school kids, the word poop will come up at least one time. Okay. And next is the dictionary game. Let's see, how many people do we have? Let's try the breakout rooms. So we'll do this quick. This game is a game of the imagination. I give the students a word that I know they don't know. And I put them in the breakout rooms and they work together as a team to create some imaginary definition. So I stress to them that they don't know the meaning of this word and they shouldn't know the meaning. And if they do know the meaning, then they need to just make a different meaning for the word. So you might want to take a memo of this because I'm going to put you in the breakout rooms and your team must come up with a definition for clouder. If you know the word, just don't say anything. Although you can get more points for your team because you'll be able to guess the real definition later. So clouder is a noun. So let's try to put, I have to stop sharing the screen here to put you in breakout rooms. So make sure you put the memo, clouder, noun. And I'm going to put, how many people do we have? We have 42, wow. So let's do 10 breakout rooms. So there's 4 people in each room. In your teams, please create the new definition for the noun clouder. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay. Please join breakout room. If you see a tab that says join breakout room, please click on that.
Looks like the default is everybody's mute.
Including the host.
Yeah, including Mary. Aha.
So, yay, how's that? Okay, so people are coming back slowly. They have a few more seconds. If you finished, please send me a private message with your breakout room number. If you don't know the breakout room number, you can ask me. So in the chat, make sure you don't send it to everyone.
Yeah,
Send
what's our breakout room number?
Okay, let's see. Chiyuki.
I remember it.
They were 4, I think.
4?
I think so.
2.
Can you let Ken
Okay.
go in?
Well, let's see if everyone's back. Okay, everyone's back. So let me give you them. So breakout room 1 was Emily, Masami, Michelle, Hidayat. And breakout room 2, Chiyuki, Melanie, Rishin, and Tomoko. Breakout room 3, Chume, Glenn, Jason, and Susie. And breakout room 4, David, Grant, Elena, and Fukiko. Breakout room 5, Mary and Hokkaido. Hey, Mary. And Maken, Mary, Ruga, and Mel. And breakout room 6, Dessa, Yurie, Ken, and Satoko. Breakout room 7, Helena, Macomb, Wendy, and Jukiri, Jakuri. Thank you, my katakana is bad. Breakout room 8, Jeffrey, Miguel, Sayo, Stella. Breakout room 9, Mariana, Sylvan, Vicky, and Yabe, Domingo. And breakout room 10, Del, Julie, Michiko, and Peter. Please put your breakout room and your definition in a private message to me. One person from your group should put that. Your breakout room number and your private or your secret definition. Okay, just make sure that it's private. Okay, I got so far, let's see, do these in random order so you don't know. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Breakout room 5, do you have a question? Uh-oh, someone did not, can you, a couple people put, they did not put their breakout room number. It helps me if you have that, but maybe I can figure it out. Okay, is there anyone who did not send a definition? Raise your hand.
I'm not sure who is supposed to send the definition.
Oh, okay. Well, anyone in your group is okay.
Yeah,
I did for our group. If somebody else didn't, I already did.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. In the thinking about time here, let's just go ahead and I will now read the fake definitions and I'll mix in the real definition. And perhaps one of the groups checked their dictionary, which you're not, or they knew it already. That's okay. So they can guess whatever they want. All right, so your group will need to guess which one is correct. So after I read the definitions, you might want to take notes. This is a good note-taking thing to do on Zoom. Take notes, and then I'll put you back in your breakout room for just a minute, and you decide which number you want. Okay, so here we go. And these will be in fairly random order too. Okay, so the first definition is a scientific term for a weather balloon. That's number 1. Please remember the numbers. Number 1, a scientific term for a weather balloon. Number 2, a thick but soft soup made of clouds, usually eaten cold. Number 3, a moment. Number 3, clam chowder that was created by cats. Number four, chowder with lots of clams when forced to write in it a shortened form. Okay, chowder with lots of clams. What number are we on? I lost track. 5? Okay,
5, I
thank
think.
you. Thank you. Okay, number 5. Chowder that is a cook who cooks and eats clam chowder every day. A clowder is a cook who cooks and eats clam chowder every day. 6, cats. 7, a type of chowder made of clouds. Oh, we have some similar ideas here. 8, right, Jason? 8, someone or something who likes to scratch things. 9, a group of cats. 10, clam chowder that was created by clowns, okay? So those are the definitions. I hope that you got them all. I'm gonna throw you back in the breakout rooms. Please choose one answer. If you choose the correct answer, you get 2 points. If your definition was guessed, you get 1 point. Okay, let's go.
Mary, wait a minute. Sorry, that was a little too fast.
Oh,
I missed
sorry.
it.
Hold on here. Okay, so in your breakout rooms, you'll have 1 minute to choose the definition that you think is correct. If you choose the correct definition, you get 2 points. If another group chooses your definition, you get 1 point. Okay, any more questions? Okay. Hope. All right, here you go. Back to your breakout rooms. Go. And click on join breakout room. Are we okay? Click on join breakout room if you haven't. Oh, some new people are here, huh? Oh.
Excuse me, where is join breakout room?
You know what? You guys are not in one, so I'm going to send you into a breakout. Well, yeah, actually, we only have a minute. So do you have any questions at all? Anybody? Thanks for joining.
I just joined, sorry. I couldn't find this link in my Facebook feed, but...
Okay. Yeah, we're just playing a game called the dictionary game. I have a file with everything we've talked about, which I'll post onto West Tokyo Jolt's Facebook page. Okay. So you'll have access to all of this, and you can ask me questions too if you have them later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is the dictionary game, and the link I have has the explanation of how to play this too and the benefits. Okay, we got 30 seconds. Everyone will be back. Here they come. Yay. In 4 seconds. People who aren't familiar with breakout rooms, once you click close breakout rooms, they only have a minute and everyone comes back automatically. But you can set that time too, the time limit from when you click close the breakout rooms. So everyone's back, yeah. So now each team will guess what number is the correct definition. Let's do this real quickly. So breakout room 1, do you have an answer?
Oh, we didn't have time to pick one, but we said a group of cats, but we couldn't remember what number it was.
Oh, okay, group of cats. No, breakout room 2. Chiyuki, do you have one?
Number one.
Okay.
Yeah. Scientific name for a weather balloon. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. And breakout room 3.
We said it was option 5, a cook who eats chowder every day.
Okay, great. Breakout room 4. David and Grant and Phil.
Number 9.
Number 9, yeah.
Or a group of cats.
Okay, a group of cats. All right. Number 5, breakout room 5.
The scratcher.
The scratcher, okay. And breakout room 6.
Number 9.
Number 9, lots of votes for number 9. Breakout room 7.
I think it was number 10, the group of clams, was it?
Oh, okay, yeah, the clowns who make clam chowder. Breakout room 8.
Maybe clam chowder written in a small space. Number 3, I think.
All right. And 3, okay. Breakout room 9.
We went for the group of cats.
Okay. And breakout room 10.
Toss up between 1 and 5, but we went for number 1, a scientific term of weather balloon.
All right, so to give the results, first, one moment, let me go back to the top. The people who, let's say we had 2 people voting for number 1, which was the scientific term for weather balloon. So breakout room 1 gets 2 points. Yay. Next, in the interest of time, so there's usually only have 3 or 4 groups playing this at once, so 10 is kind of a lot. But the correct answer, if you guessed a group of cats, then you got 2 points for your team, a group of cats. So perhaps you guys know me and you probably knew I chose something related to cats. But anyway, that's something fun to do with words kids don't know. And I don't expect my students to remember these words. It's really for processing critical thinking skills, how to use the parts of speech, and for some creativity. But it is a pretty long game. It's not a warm-up, something that takes quite a long time. All right, let's move along so other people can share their ideas too. And we got our shared screen again. So powder is, I'll have this on my file. I wrote a paper on using this for the MyShare Tech in Yokohama JOLT in Accents Asia. So this will be on the file if you want to reference it, and it has the directions to the game too. Little self-plug there. And the answer was, yeah, a group of cats. All right, let's move along. So if you've ever played Hangman, you can do this game too really quickly. I have a template that I made, and instead of a human, I like to use a spider so that we don't have people killing themselves in Japan. So this is a basic game. I'm just gonna go through it quickly rather than playing. If the student guesses the wrong letter, I'll put it here at the bottom. Z, keep a running list of the wrong words. But if they guess the correct ones, for example, A, I have a box covering it, you can see, and I just delete the box and there's the A. Maybe they guessed H, oh, there's an H. U, there we go. E, there it is. But if they guess the wrong words, oh, we had X, I can take away each part of the spider here, which I've blocked. We have maybe they guessed a Q, that's wrong. We take away a leg. Okay, until my students usually always win this game, unless they're being cheeky monkeys and they guess all the letters that won't be in it, like Z and X and Q. Okay, so this will be on the file also, so you can change the words a bit, but the spiders will be here too. You can recycle this from the file, copy and paste. All right. I'd like to give a plug for meditation and breathing exercises and mindfulness. I've been using mindfulness training and meditation in a lot of my classes for several years now, and the students always reply on the Anketos that they really like this part of the class. Often it's only 2 to 5 minutes, One of the benefits of doing breathing exercises is it reduces anxiety. And in this time with coronavirus, I think our students really need that. Another advantage is if you're doing presentations with your students, that practicing regular breathing exercises will help them before presentations to reduce their heart rate and to reduce their blood pressure and take away some of the nervousness that they might feel. One video that I use, I've downloaded it, but I'll show you on YouTube today, is a 4-6 breathing exercise. So on Zoom, we can bring up, some of the videos. Uh-oh, I lost it here. Bring up videos from YouTube, share. Okay, can you see YouTube? I can't see YouTube. Oh.
We can.
Can you guys see the YouTube one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, great. I couldn't see it. Here it is. All right, so you can expand the screen and then play it. Let's all do it together. Please sit in a comfortable position, relaxed, and try to breathe with the video, inhaling. It might take a few moments to get into the rhythm. Try to focus on your breathing and not on other things. Try to count in your mind in English. Okay, we're going to stop it there for now in the interest of time so more people can share their ideas. And let me try to stop my video. I guess it stopped. Oh, where is it? All right. Okay, great. Anyway, I highly recommend doing some kind of visualization or mindfulness training with your students, especially during this difficult time for them. Some of them might be pretty stressed out. But anyway, there are lots of different videos on YouTube that you can use. The 4-6 one we use, there's also like 5-7. They're different longer ones for more relaxation. And there are also guided meditations. Brett Simmons mentioned just doing a mindfulness exercise on the website on Facebook, a different website for emergency teaching. And his is to have students at home just sit for 30 seconds and just listen to what's happening around them or what they see or feel or hear, and then write about that. That's also excellent mindfulness training, help the students through this hard time and help them focus better in classes too. Okay, this is the breathing technique is from Matt Abrams from Think Fast and Talk Smart. This is a really great, not TED Talk, but a talk from Stanford University on giving great presentations. So the link is here. There's also the link for the breathing that you can contact this later, connect with it later. And just a couple other things in closing. So internet speed is pretty important. And I think in afternoons, our internet speed is going to be really slow. So you can test it on this website. This morning, I tested mine at 4:30 in the morning when I wake up and check my email, and it was 28 Mbps. Just before this meeting, I checked it again, and it was like 3.6. It was incredibly slow getting on. So far, I haven't experienced any delays, so maybe it's okay. But your students can also check their internet speed to see if it's high enough for doing these Zoom classes. And also, if you want to look fantastic to your students, I highly recommend this video. It's about 20 minutes, a 20-minute tutorial on how to set up your room or your lighting, how to get the most out of looking good for your students, look professional. Some people are, using that too high, or like they're like this. My students sometimes do that. I can't see them speaking. So you might even share some ideas with your students too at the beginning of the term about how they can also maximize the view if they're using videos on the internet, on Zoom or other chats or conferencing. All right, so again, I will put this file up onto the JALT, West Tokyo JALT Facebook page files, so you can access it. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me anytime. So thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope you can use some of these, adapt them to your own purposes. Thanks.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. Take over. You can take it back. Oh, I have to give it back to you, don't I?
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
Can you take it back? Can you take it back, or do I have to give it back to you? The
You might have to
host.
give it back to me.
All right, let me find it. Oh,
no, I can't take it back.
okay. Oh, now we just need to find where that is, huh?
So go to my name under the participants.
Okay.
And more.
Okay, got it.
And
withdraw. All right, excellent. There you go.
Mary,
Thanks.
thank you very much. I thought it was great that you showed some kind of low-tech ways to do activities online. Not taking us to all these different applications that have a big learning curve. That was really nice.
You can see how the quizzes worked. I still got to figure that out. But sometimes there are fails like that, and my thinking too is to ask students for feedback and suggestions. At least at my schools, they probably can. But in fact, one of my 10-year-olds took over the whiteboard on one of the Saturday mornings because she's a pro at Zoom already. But yeah, I think we should let the students know too. Give us some ideas, give us feedback. I think that's important too. Thanks, Wendy.
I think there just seems to be so much focus on, using apps like quizzes or using different Google Forms or these or those or other things. But I think a lot of people don't realize you can just use a basic Word doc or a basic PowerPoint for a lot of the activities that you might do normally in your class.
Right.
So it's nice to see that.
I've heard too from teachers that just buying a 100 yen small whiteboard that they can hold is much faster than utilizing the whiteboard on Zoom. So that's another low-tech thing that people can do.
Yeah, that's a really good idea too, I think. And I think it's good to share these things with everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to hearing other people's ideas too. Let's do it.
So the second part of the meeting today, we wanted to make it kind of a my share. So if people are starting to develop some activities for their classes, or if somebody has done a few classes online now, we can please share your ideas. If not, that's okay too.
Total silence.
Total silence. Well, I can start. Okay, so our main classes start on May 7th, but my seminar class started 3 weeks ago. And it's kind of a nice chance to play around with a small group of students that I already know. So our school is using Teams, and so I thought I might show you some of the things I set up in Teams for my students. And if you're using a different learning management system, I think you could make similar things for your students to do using Google Docs or things like that. So I'll share my screen and show you some things. So if I go to Teams, so this is how my seminar class looks in Team. And so you can see there's like a general channel, and then each student has his or her own channel. And so what I've done, my students have a writing homework assignment this week. And so what I did was I made a Google Doc for each student. And they can click on this Google Doc and open it. And I wrote the explanation of the writing assignment. And then below that is where they type in their essay. And then they'll just keep this same Google Doc for every writing assignment they do over the course of the semester or maybe the year, we don't know. But so they can just keep adding to it, and they're not having to submit files by email or other things. And I think that will make it easy for the students to keep organized. And it's just very simple. It's just a basic Google document. And they don't need a Gmail account to go in and edit that. Something else that I made, we're doing mostly web quests. It was supposed to be a seminar based on field work, but we can't do field work now. So their first web quest was to search about the resources on their town's website for foreigners, like COVID ID or COVID-19 resources for foreigners on their website. And they had to find which languages were available, how were they translated, what kind of information was available. And so then they posted them all here in the chat. And what they'll do is they'll go back and they'll read what the other class members found. And then their paper that they're writing this week is a comparison paper, comparing what's available in the different towns and then giving their opinions. I've also putting all of the Zoom class videos on this page because I think some students can't always make it for various reasons, but then they can go back and watch what we did instead. And one other thing that I think is important is this fun stuff to share. It's just a show and tell. I think the students are feeling kind of isolated and lonely right now. And so if we make a show and tell that they can add something to each week, maybe that will help them feel more connected with their classmates. So the first one I did, I posted my own. This is something that I made a few weeks ago. And a student replied and I replied back. But so far, nobody else has posted in the show and tell. So I might actually make that part of the weekly homework and give them a theme every week, like breakfast or color or something like that. But I think that these are just some very simple things that you can do in your learning management system that help the students understand what's going on, but also keep organized for themselves. And the last thing I wanted to share is, again, this is a Google Doc. I am adding the homework into the Google Doc each week. So then again, if a student is absent, they can go back and find it easily. And so, for example, what I did is I put the date, what the assignment is, when it's due, and where to post it on Teams, because there are so many different channels in there, they might be very confused. So each time I will tell them where to post it. And again, that's to help keep the students organized and help them kind of remember where things go while they're still figuring out this new system, because the system is new for all of us. So that's my share.
Very nice.
I think things like the show and tell are really important for our students because they are stuck inside. They can't go out and do their normal activities, whether they're in a band or their club or whatever it is that they normally do. And so having some kind of show and tell just kind of helps them show their life and maybe helps them feel a little bit connected to normalcy, which is not happening right now.
I'd like to talk a little just on how I'm adapting some of the things that I like to do in class. The first would be turn taking. Sometimes I'll have turn taking, whatever that might be, such as relays to go to the board and write adjectives in an alphabetical order and which team can make it the fastest. When we have something on this kind of network, it's hard to make a kind of natural ordering of students in turns, because to say go from left to right, well, we don't see each other's displays and we don't have that always set on that. So using Mary's idea and maybe on a whiteboard in back of you writing the order of students to participate in something might be a way to set a kind of turns, or to put it on a document that is already available, like Wendy did online for them to look over. So you can still do turn-taking things, and a great collaborative issue that you can do is in writing classes. If any of you are teaching writing online, you can have a lot of collaborative issues, but I would like to suggest that if you have people working on collaborative things in writing, be careful that they can accidentally, with a press of a button, erase everyone else's writings as well. So you might want to make it less of a write on the actual document and more of a write on your document first, copy and paste on there. Therefore, if it's lost, everyone still has their own copies and can repaste it on there. So those are just practical tips and not anything exciting.
Just regarding using a shared cloud document, you can always access the version history if things do get erased, because
awesome.
that has happened before in my classes too.
Thanks so much for that. Appreciate that.
I think that's a really good point, and people who are new to using shared cloud docs might not know that.
I've got a couple of ideas. Can you see me?
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Okay. Yeah, all I saw was Wendy's cat. Okay. Let's see. First of all, in the participants tab at the bottom of the screen, if you open that up, on the left side, there's a way to raise your hand. So, so instead of physically raising your hand, you can do it virtually. So that's a way to assign turns, to make it easier to assign turns to people, maybe. I tried to use this last week, but it wasn't functioning at the time, so I haven't actually used it yet, but it seems like it might be a good idea. And then another thing is there are various online resources that are pretty easy to use, like this, Write and Improve. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This was actually, somebody introduced this at a JALT plenary a year or two ago. This Cambridge University Press offers this. There's a free version and I guess a paid version, but the free version is quite good actually. It's called Write and Improve. You can see the URL up here at writeandimprove.com. You open it up. You can make an account or maybe not make an account. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, once it opens up, I can show it to you, but while we're waiting, there are several levels. It offers writing exercises, well, writing topics and a place to input your text. And then it offers some comments. The comments are not as complete as they are in Grammarly, but maybe that's a good thing, especially at the lower levels. You don't want to overwhelm students with too many comments. So you write, you say, give me some comments. The comments come back to you. You make changes. You ask the software to check you again. You can go back and forth several times, and the student can go back and forth several times without having to go through you, the teacher, and burden you with endless proofreading. So let's try a beginner exercise. So it shows you some questions. Actually, every time you log in, it recycles new questions. So this is not all that's there, but let's try this one. I like hiking because I are lazy. Last times I do these were yesterday. Okay, so check it.
What? Which? Oh.
Okay, so it
Food
tells how
processing.
many words I wrote, and eventually it should give me some comments, but well, I guess it's
You have
not-
to add more words.
I guess I have to do that first.
Yeah, you need at least 25 words.
Okay.
You have 14.
How many do I have now? Okay, one more than I needed. This is running a little slow today because I guess the internet is busy. Okay. Well, sorry, it's not giving me a lot of comments, but this is also the lowest level. Anyway, you can see I made a lot of grammatical mistakes. It doesn't catch all of them, but it catches some, and maybe that's enough. Anyway, play around with this, see if you like it. That's all for now.
Yeah, if I could say something on, this is Grant in Okinawa. I put a message to everyone via the chat room there for video books. It's books.com. And right now they're doing at least 1 month for free. So for young learners, it's a great way to, for lack of a better word, give yourself a break. You know, we can read the books with the students too, but this is a great way to introduce sort of some new vocabulary or a fun way to have the students work on their pronunciation or something like that. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe if you go to books.com, as an educator, if you have an EDU email, you can get 1 year for free. I did. So I believe you can do that. So you might want it, I think it'd be worth checking out. I'm not going to show you because the internet's too slow. It's actually, it's a storybook, some of the, you know, all the famous storybooks that we had when we were kids. And they're in a sort of a video fun format. And it comes with lesson plans and ideas and whatnot. It's just a great application if you want to use it.
Grant? Say Grant?
Yes, yes, Glenn.
You said that works for a teacher's account if you have an EDU in your email. Well, what about the university suffix? AC.jp.
Right. So I was talking to a colleague last week about this with the AC.jp. And so some things they do accept it and some they don't. Now this is from the United States. So my guess is they're not going to know what that means. If it's an EDU, I also teach at the University of Maryland, so I have the EDU, so that's what I use. But worst case scenario, it's only $5 a month. And I know only is probably not the right word, but $5 a month, you can continue the program if you want to, after that month for free.
That is for the native English speakers kids, right? So probably it's for EFL kids. It's a little bit, the level was a little bit high, just for your information. But high schoolers probably like secondary students might be, yeah.
Thank you, Chiyuki. Great point. Actually, I use it with our international kids and they're 5 years old and they love it. It's just a regular story. So instead of you reading the story, you can just play the video and it'll do the story for you. So I give myself a break with this and the kids actually love it. So I don't, you know, I use it with 5-year-olds and honestly, I haven't done it yet, but I think I could use it with my university students too.
For the super easy ones, Oxford All, it's the all free and with the recordings, and Oxford Reading Tree series graded readers, and then probably stage 1, 2 or something like that, lots of free stuff as well, and you don't have to pay. So that's another thing.
I checked out the Oxford graded readers online, and it's bookworms, dominoes, and fact files. For the lowest stage, the starter level, they've only got 6 books.
Well, that's for Oxford and for adults, but I was talking about for kids. Oxford the Reading Tree series, it's really it's just for kids, and so you are talking about a different one, and that's
okay.
For adults. Yeah.
And then there's also X reading, of course.
And Paul is offering, I think, a free month or 2 with X reading, and then I think a 30% discount for the entire year. One thing with X reading, there is a bit of a learning curve for both the teachers and the students. And if you have teachers that are not very tech savvy, it might be a bit much to set up right now. Once you figure it out, it's really easy. And Paul has very, very good tutorials for it. But I think, you know, if you're just working with a few teachers, that would be pretty easy to set up right now on this emergency thing. But in my case, like, I'm working with 14 part-time teachers and 5 full-time teachers who are teaching reading, and only 2 of us are tech savvy at all. So I think that in our case, right now, something like X reading would just be too much.
Looks like Ben posted a question here. Online resources for Zoom, online teaching. Aren't there videos somewhere?
There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube and actually on the Zoom website as well.
And I can ask you, everybody, how many of you have like G Suite account at your universities?
G3, what's that?
What?
G Suite is that university educational Gmail account.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
Have you ever used Meet? It's another option for Zoom. And if you have a Gmail account or a G Suite account, you could use something called Google Meet. And it's not as good as Zoom because we don't have breakout room or we don't have any other, we have recordings. And well, you have recordings if you have a Google Suite. However, it's really depending on the educational institute. For example, one university offers us recordings and Google Classroom and everything, but the other university offers us only Google Drive, Google and Doc, and then other basics, and without recordings. So you have to check with your institutions, but I work at the 4 different universities, and 3 of them gave us full, like a Google benefits. And I started using Google Meet. And this morning, I just realized that how can it be less heavy data plan for the students? And I just turned off my video, the camera, and started to talk about what they expected to do, and showing my Google kind of documents or a Google slide. And it was really kind of friendly, student friendly way, because there's not so much data. If you use online contents, the student has to pay for the data plan. And some of the students lost their part-time jobs, so they have a lot of problems, the financial problems. So I mean, actually the low tech is better. If like Mary did, it was a really, you know, you don't really have to pay so much data plans in order to do that, take your class. Well, Zoom takes a little bit too much sometimes, but so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the Google Drive a lot, and you can share the URL with your portal. Like one of the university uses Manaba, or one of the university uses different portals, but you can just copy and then paste the URL on the news slide, page or whatever, wherever, or you can simply mail students. This is the video URL, and then you can use. And then there are 2 incidents that your university's portal was crashed last week at some point because of lots of teachers and then students got in at the class time. So one of my university's portal is still crashed, and we can't really use it now, which is really scary.
I have a question about the data usage, because I've heard that there's many of the major carriers are allowing free, like unlimited data for a while.
Yeah, but I think some of the students cannot really go there, and then it's like really crowded there as well. And then they have to wait like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like whenever you go to like my daughter tried to do that, but it was a longer queue, or you have to wait, and then social distancing and then stuff. So it's not really easy. Even headset is difficult to order, and the computer is gonna come like a month later or something. It's awful.
Thank you.
But that's really interesting to know also that they have to physically go to the cell phone shop to get this upgrade. I didn't know that.
And we had a major case at the AU shop in a nearby city of corona spreading. So
well, you can call, but the line is so busy.
Yeah, so either way it's taking hours.
Yes.
We've got a couple hands up. Is it okay to switch? So Andrew, do you have something you'd like to talk about?
Hi, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, just fine.
Okay, I'm outside, and I'm by the river, and it's a little bit windy, so if the wind gets too noisy, just let me know. I'll try to keep the mic covered. Just 2 quick ideas. One is a kind of warm-up or icebreaker type of activity that you could do anytime. It's good for maybe low to intermediate level and up. You can do a game on Zoom or in Meet, any of the services where you can have a grid view, where you just ask the person next to you in the grid view, when was the last time you? I just played this the other day with a social get-together on Zoom, and it was actually really a lot of fun. So you
Sorry
could do
to interrupt, Andrew.
Yeah.
Is the grid like constant in where people are placed?
I don't think so, but you know what? I joined it from my phone the other day, and it was the same for us. There were 6 of us on there, and it ended up being the same order for 3 rounds. So we, after the second round, we went back the other way, so we could ask different people. I've seen it on my other screen where the order changes, so that might add a little bit more variety. I suppose you could always say, you know, if you've already asked that person, then just ask a different person above or next to you or something. The other idea was kind of building on the show and tell. I missed part of the beginning, so if this came up, my apologies. But I was having an English department meeting yesterday and the day before, and one of the topics that came up is that a lot of our students, well, not just students, basically everybody right now is, while they're at home, they're finding themselves free. They have time to do things, and what's happening is people are pursuing their long time ignored hobbies. They're picking up new things. a lot of families and parents are asking their children to start doing other things. Kids are starting to learn how to cook in the kitchen, DIY projects and things like that. And I've been really amazed at how many different things I've seen families teaching their kids these days, things that normally they don't get to do. So a kind of show and tell variation would be to have them to start sharing some of the new learnings that they've been doing, because we assume that they're home free, bored, doing nothing. So we want to give them all these different assignments, but we can engage and activate their English by having them talk about some of the things that they've been experiencing and learning lately. That's it, just those 2 comments.
Thanks,
I think
Andrew.
that's a really interesting point about that they're learning all these new different things now because everyone's at home. I hadn't really thought about that, but then I don't have kids, so I wouldn't think about something like that. But and also, like you said, Andrew, a really good way to get the students engaged in talking about new things. Jason, do you have something to share? Your hand is up.
No, I just was throwing my hands in the air and waving them like I just don't care.
Can I also share what I have been adapting and will adapt? I'll be teaching beginning May 7th, and I've been preparing to adapt the things that I did, especially in speaking classes. If I could share my screen though.
Sure, it's down at the bottom. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. So I don't know if you have heard of, I'm sure you have heard of Flipgrid or any other app to capture videos, because I think that, of course, we do this Zoom thingy or whatever have you to have face-to-face interaction virtually, and you have breakout rooms also, but I think it's also important to have students learn asynchronously or in their own time and not real time. And what I found to be very effective and intuitive with my classes, I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
No.
No.
Hit share screen.
Okay, I think share, I found it. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
basically it's called Seesaw. It's I don't know if you've heard of it. It's Seesaw app, and it's similar to Flipgrid, but I find Seesaw very intuitive, more intuitive than Flipgrid. And basically, if I could just show you what I did with my classes, let's see. Wait, let me go to my classes. So what I did was basically to assign them activities, especially speaking activities. They record their response, and then you can actually give feedback. You can, the other students can give feedback, or you can set your settings into individual student-to-student feedback. You can also set a kind of a blog inside this website where students can see each other's work. Just to show you what I did. So if I have students in, for example, for example, this student, I would not play whatever she said now for whatever reason, but if you can see, she is like telling what, I think this is like a reflection response, and she uploaded this through her student account. And you can actually set your classes to up to 10 for the free version. But if you have problems with paying for the subscription, you can just set it to 10 classes and then archive them, and then get to have new classes without paying a subscription. I still have the free version, so I don't think it would be a problem for those of you who are budget conscious like me. But I think that this is very intuitive, and the this green button, like the Flipgrid app, this green button is very conducive to and easy to do or
Ramel,
operate.
how is security on
Yep.
this app?
Well, security is, well, I haven't thought of it, but as I have, used it, I didn't really have any issues about like Zoom bombing type of issue.
Security is pretty good on that because you have to have a code for each class to get onto the thing there.
Right.
Each class has its own separate code, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, and the last thing that I want to say is that in their library, or this is my library, the things that I have assigned to my students, but in the community library, whatever subject, whatever topic, you have prepared assignments or tasks already. So if we just look at, for example, remote learning activities, daily reading routine, or what have you, these are adaptable to your own context. So whether you're teaching kids or older students, I think you can adapt to it. Basically, this was, I think, made for the K to 12 bracket, but I've adapted it for my college and university students. So I don't think, well, when it comes to security issue, it's pretty secure, but I have not met any security concerns yet. So let's see. But for 2 years that I've been using it, I really haven't met any security issues. So if you have time, then you can try to learning. There are tutorials actually. Let me just see. There are tutorials for teachers. Wait, especially now because they, we are on a pandemic, so we have remote learning resources, and they even have pre-made student videos and videos for teachers, specifically for the remote learning, emergency remote learning. So yeah, if you have time and if you like it, like, you can try. And if you have questions, shoot me an email, and then I've been using it for quite some time. And I've actually shared this in the JALT conference last year. So I made a poster out of it. So somehow I think most of the tech drawn or tech oriented institutions like in Central Tokyo, where I taught previously, they really are into Seesaw. But you can use Flipgrid too, but they have basically the same function. So that's my share. Do we still have others?
Thanks, Pramel.
Well, I can tell you something that I'm sort of hoping to plan. It's for a reading course. I will have students reading for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes before we do something. It's just like I do in a real live classroom. But then I plan to try something with breakout groups. Now I've got the Moodle Big Blue Button system, and that only allows 8 breakout groups. So with classes as large as mine, it's going to have half a dozen students or so in each group. So I have to be mindful of how much time they're in there talking. But whether you do it that way or through Zoom's breakout, the idea is to have them reading something first and then talk about it. And as you know, you can peek in, you can just listen in, or you can add a text message or something. I have another course for graduate students where they're actually supposed to be learning how to have science chatting conversations or science dialogues. I call it lab news chat. So I was planning to use the breakout groups for something similar on that. It's about as far as I've gotten on it, though.
Mary, we have in our breakout room a while ago, we had an issue, or we had like a concern about how do we easily make our students understand, for example, the instructions, whereas there was an issue about, or there was a suggestion about using a separate, like a whiteboard type of thing. Although we can use a whiteboard, maybe a Google Docs or something to type in our definitions. I'm asking everybody, or Mary first, and then everybody, your suggestions about how to get around with that, because a while ago we didn't know what to do, and then somebody said, oh, we're gonna write the definition or something, and then where or who is gonna do it. So maybe if we can have like a Google Doc or something on a separate window, or I don't know how else you do it, but a better way maybe from everybody, or Mary, if you have a suggestion.
Yeah, in the usual classroom, I usually assign the kids for a note taker, a reporter, and a class, group manager. So using cooperative learning, that helps a lot. Another thing too, if you have something on a shared screen, is the students can take a quick shot if they have their phones. They can take a photo of it, because once you go into the breakout rooms, everything disappears. Also, the teacher can go from room to room and check in on students, but you don't know what they're doing during the time that you're not there. So that's an issue for sure.
Well, if your students are going to be using their cell phones for this sort of communication, or even a tablet, what you can have them do, and I'm considering it, is if they need to demonstrate or show something, explain to them how they can flip the camera view around, so they don't have to hold a book. Let's see. They don't have to hold a book in one hand and hold the phone in the other and take a kind of a selfie while they're talking. They can simply reverse the view on the camera, point it at their book if they're going to talk about something.
And also the teachers can actually give the instructions, right, Mary, in the breakout room. So maybe they're sending a reminder, you have to talk about this, or you have to do this, or something like that.
Yeah, you can send messages. Also, the students can call you if they're really lost. They can ask for help, it's called. So you can go to that breakout room and help them out. So let them know that they can do that before they go into the breakouts.
Yeah, the screen sharing works quite well for many things. Like you can just open up any old text editor, share the screen, and write whatever you want. Like something like that. And you can, of course, change the font so it's more visible. That can be your whiteboard. That's really easy, which you can do on a desktop or a laptop, because you can use any text editor or a cell phone too.
Can students share screens in the breakout rooms?
That I don't know. Anybody know?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
But this
yes,
is
if you set the settings to allow
Right,
it.
exactly.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent.
I think they can. Yeah, I read about it.
Even if you can't in the group, when you come back and report, then you can.
Right.
I sometimes let students share their work or like a worksheet in the breakout room, so that they, for example, I let them share the vocabulary sheet in the breakout room, so they can check the understanding of vocabulary by themselves. So yeah, they can share.
So much.
Thanks for having me.
We would like to thank you first, and also to the wonderful team of the West Tokyo JALT. They've been amazing for putting up this first virtual meeting among the JALT chapters. And also, thank you everybody for coming. If